Hey, how's it going? So I want to tell people a little story about my life that a lot of people don't understand. I started smoking marijuana in high school, and I did for a long time. I mean, I didn't smoke it all the time, but I would always go back to it. And this has to do with drug addiction in general. So I thought, hey, all I could do is quit smoking weed, right? But I would always go back to it. Well, why would I do that? And this is why psychology is important. It's because my underlying emotional issues that I never dealt with. And this is why there's a drug problem in America today. Most people get depressed because Netflix said there's a study that says people don't get married until the age of 25 now. So you have your idea of your life. Well, let's say you're using drugs. I'm on drugs. I can't stop. I just can't stop. I'm addicted. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is that the truth? Because the last I heard, if you don't learn from history, it will repeat itself. Because, now this is just my own humble opinion, but the reason why I kept going back and doing it was my underlying emotional issues. And I went to a psychologist and they said, well, I think there's something wrong with you. And then from failure to understand what something wrong with you means, I thought, oh, she's saying I'm stupid. Or she's saying this. And I would try to prove all this stuff to her. And she didn't know me. She says, well, I don't know if I doubt you're that smart. It didn't really matter. I should have read it myself. But the thing about it is you have behavioral patterns and you have emotional issues. So if you don't deal with those, you'll go right back and do the same thing. Because let's think about it for a second. Yeah, if you weren't addicted to drugs, it would be good. But what caused you to start using drugs in the first place? Why would a person do that? Why would a perfectly healthy human being who had everything going for themselves just up in one day start using drugs? Why would they do it? Because they had issues they hadn't dealt with, emotional issues. That's my opinion on how people get on drugs and why they go back to drugs. They don't realize the cycle that is happening in their life and they get back on them again. Same thing with going to jail. Same thing with all these things. That emotional pattern repeats itself. They get right back around the same people. It happens again. They go right through the same rung of emotions. It happens again. With some variants, you're going to meet new people, stuff like that. But let's say a certain person is the problem in your life. You're going to go right back to it again, eventually. So let's say I'm driving down the street. And if I drive, it's a 4-hour drive. And so what I do is I drive straight. I take 2 lefts, 2 rights, go straight for 50 miles, and then take a right. It's a long journey. It lasts me 2.5 hours. But I'll always wind up in the same spot again. Because I'm taking the same plan. I'm doing the same thing. I'm using the same protocol. What come first, the chicken or the egg? I don't think you deal with what's going on right now. I think you deal with what led you to that point. You deal with that before you even try to even get off of what you're on. In my opinion. Now, I'm no expert, and you have to do those things you should. Don't think about them, do them. Because if you use your own logic, you'll wind up right back in the same position. You'll do the exact same thing and wind up in the exact same position. Having fun is okay. You relax, you have fun. But if you have fun the same way, the same thoughts will come in your head and you'll wind up in the same position. That's why new music is good to listen to. You listen to new music, you do new things. You don't repeat the same old pattern. Maybe it was a good pattern. You had fun. But hey, life's about more than fun sometimes. You know. I mean, especially if you're not having fun and you're depressed. You repeat those same old patterns, you'll wind up in the same exact place. Has nothing to do with being addicted to drugs or not. Has nothing to do with that. You'll bring yourself right back to that verge where you're wondering whether you want to do it or not, and you'll do it. It's very important for somebody to listen to out there. So, and that is my 5th video on Sigmund Freud. Thank you very much.